Esther, can you unmute yourself?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Great. And you can still see my my slides?
Yes.
Yeah. Great. So thank you very much, Amos, for having me. As Amos said, food on the table is very important. And I will present to you in a few short 10 or so minutes on the Global Agriculture Monitoring Initiative. It's an initiative that was launched back in 2011 by the Group of 20. And this was in response to a huge price volatility in the agriculture markets and trade landscape around 2008, 2010 that happened, that were very uncertain, and there was no authoritative information to point to the reason why or to justify why these price hikes were happening. So the Group of 20 requested the agriculture community to come together and develop solutions to respond to this and help increase market transparency, improve food security, and stabilize the global food security markets, and also to support early warning for food security. So the group came together very quickly, and in 2 years, they were able to launch a service that we call the Crop Monitor for Agriculture Markets Information System, or in short, Crop Monitor for AMIS. And this Crop Monitor looks at the major crops in the world, the major food security crops, and from the major global producers of these crops. So these crops include wheat, maize, soybean, and rice across multiple production seasons. Each month, over 40 partners generate and contribute information that goes into the Crop Monitor for AMIS report that is generated every month as well. And the report includes not only crop conditions, but also short and midterm weather forecasts in the countries and the regions of interest. As well as the name is very elaborate, Crop Monitor for AMIS. So the primary client of this service is the AMIS Secretariat. And here we have a quote. We've been supporting them since 2013, and they inject the information from the Crop Monitor for AMIS into their different products and bulletins. And the quote here is a testament of the critical role that observations play in predicting crop production shortfalls and informing policy and decisions for food security and early warning. Shortly after that, and based on the success of the Crop Monitor for AMIS, the group also launched a service that looks that is dedicated for early warning, and this we call it the Crop Monitor for Early Warning. And this Crop Monitor looks at focuses on regions of the world that are prone or experience food insecurity frequently. And in these regions, the crop monitor considers only those foods or only those crops that are of national or regional importance in those regions. So we have maize, sorghum, millet, wheat, teff, and rice. There is more, of course, based on the region or region or the country, whatever the country is interested in. So for this crop monitor, we have about 14 partner agencies that come together every month also. They bring their data and the data is used to produce the monthly crop monitor for early warning reports. This report also includes weather forecasts. And so how is it done? How do we do it? It's a question we get a lot. So each month, both for the crop monitor for AMIS and the crop monitor for early warning, each month the partners come together. They bring their crop condition assessments and data, and they engage in an open discussion to build consensus and also address any issues or discrepancies that may arise. For instance, there may be multiple partners working in Ghana. You might have the Ministry of Agriculture or the Space Agency or the university. They both produce data for Ghana. What happens is one partner reports that the conditions are good and the other one reports they're bad. So this is the reason, and this is the essence of engaging in open discussion, so that the information is peer reviewed. If there are discrepancies, then the partners need to go back to the field or research more so that the discrepancies are addressed. And then this goes into the summary report. So the advantage or the benefits of this process is that the information that comes out of this process is reliable because it has been peer reviewed. It's also authoritative, and because it's generated by many partners, it comes with a certain weight, and it can be treated as accurate. So in a nutshell, Earth observations help us to monitor land use trends, agriculture trends as well, and this goes to enhancing decisions across the agriculture and food security value chain, and increasing the data quality in the country or the region or globally. And the whole process is driven by open science and open data, meaning all the partners that bring the data is shared openly and freely, and the reports that are generated are also public, which means they're open for everyone to use. So some of the Earth observation applications that we commonly look at or that inform the crop monitors, and most of our work, we call them the essential agricultural variables. The figure you see on the screen is trying to link or sync the Earth observation application and the policy implication or the policy measure that it addresses in the real world. So we have rangeland and cropland mapping, which could help you estimate food production potential for your country or region, or to determine or study the state and the changes in land use for both crop and livestock. We also have crop type mapping, which can speak to the state and changes in land use reproduction, crop production potential, depending on what type of crop you're looking at or what type of crop is important in your country. This can also help you to understand the farming practices and also design farm support programs that are appropriate. It can also help you to assess greenhouse or to assess or contribute to greenhouse gas studies and reporting. We have field boundary delineation, we have crop condition assessments and crop yield focused as well. And all of these variables, they help us to monitor systematically and reports on the crop conditions. And this can help you, for instance, understand how much food you expect to harvest, and warn you in advance if there is a potential for any shortfalls. And as we saw from the crop monitor for agriculture markets, it can also inform trade and market activities in the agriculture sector. So we have some impact stories where we have done work with the governments. I will highlight just a few. So for instance, the crop monitor in Uganda, we started working with the government of Uganda back in 2016, and we developed the crop monitor together with them. In 2017, through systematic monitoring, they were able to detect and get an early warning 3 months in advance of potential crop failure in the northern parts, crop and pasture failure in the northern parts of the country due to droughts. And because they had this early warning 3 months in advance, they were able to start to react proactively rather than reactively, as you know, many as is common, as is business as usual. And so they started targeting those farmers in the northern part of the country with social protection measures to support the livelihoods and the welfare of the people in that country, in that region. So as a result of these proactive measures, the government was able to save $2.6 million in that year alone. And in the period between 2017 to 2020, they were able to save about 11 million US dollars and helped about 150,000 people. And as well, the Earth observations are also very critical in disaster risk reduction. For instance, here, the example here is from Mozambique, where the crop monitoring system was used to assess flood damage caused by Cyclone Idai back in 2019. So the government was able to use the system to determine where croplands were flooded and estimate how much crop was damaged. And with that information, they could be able to prepare better, to target better, to the farmers and understand more on the food security implications of this event. This solution was also voted the best rural solution by IFED. And the system has been since translated into Portuguese, the local language in Mozambique. So, in conclusion, the challenges for food security are ever increasing. There's climate change and climate extremes getting more intense these days. And this comes with the implications on pests and diseases for crops and livestock. There is also conflicts that affect food security and agriculture production. And so Earth observations continue or will continue to play a very critical role in informing policies and programs. And as young people, there's a lot of opportunities and actions that you can take to address these challenges. And these include research and innovation to develop tools, platforms that speak to the trends and changes. There are also opportunities in collaborating with other researchers, organizations to validate, refine, or upscale existing agriculture monitoring solutions. You can also educate, you can teach Earth observations, you can consult, you can advocate for policy, you can provide information for the insurance industry to farmers. There is plenty of opportunities. to be explored here. For the sake of time, I will stop there. I think this is my last slide. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much on talking on a very